If you think office politics are bad now, they're not. If Congress passes H.R. 1319, the stuff you're already dealing with will get much worse. You think you don't have a work-life balance now. Just wait. Wait until that deadline is moved forward and you have to get things done or be gone. You won't have the benefits of an employee either because this bill strips you naked. No more minimum wage, no more overtime, no more union. I mean, if you even had one. No more being an employee. You're an independent contractor now. You'll have the endless hustle of an entrepreneur, but none of the rewards. If we don't do something about this, you and your kids will be poor. You'll end up in a tiny house where you'll struggle to pay rent and bills. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you some things that we all can do to block this. In this bill, they create a new independent contractor status within the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. An individual shall be determined to be an independent contractor rather than an employee of another person if the other person does not exercise significant control over the details of the way the work is performed by the individual, without regard to any control the other person may exercise over the final result of the work performed. And while performing such work, the individual has the opportunities and risks inherent with entrepreneurship, such as the discretion to exercise managerial skill, business acumen, or professional judgment. When at work, how many times have you exercised managerial skill, business acumen, or professional judgment? The idea is so broad that I think I'm safe to say that it includes everyone. Then the bill goes into what may not be used to determine employee status. Whether such other person requires the individual to comply with legal, statutory, or regulatory requirements. Whether such other person requires the individual to comply with health and safety standards that are more stringent than otherwise applicable health and safety standards. Whether such other person requires the individual to carry insurance of any kind. Whether such other person requires the individual to meet contractually agreed upon performance standards such as deadlines. Then it moves to the National Labor Relations Act, updating it to reflect the new update in the other bill. Shall be used in determining whether an individual is an independent contractor or an employee of another person. This bill is linked in the video description along with other resources. It's coming for you. A lot of folks believe this bill will only affect people with jobs like truck driver or home health worker. Yeah, it'll impact them. Despite that, unless you already work for yourself, you'll feel it too. I can't predict exactly what it will do to your job, but the bill is so ambiguous. So much so that I'm confident employers will make it mean what they need it to. If you've ever needed help from HR, you know they're there for you. Hi, I'm Kina. I worked for Tesla for 6 years. I worked in the US for over 30 years. I've been a union worker. Most of my work was in Florida, a right-to-work state. If you know anything about right-to-work states, there is little to no worker solidarity, which makes organizing very hard. If there is something that you'd like me to talk about in a video, please let me know in the comments. Thank you to everyone who's given me suggestions thus far. Some of them I'm working on, others are a little too salacious for YouTube's algorithm. If you like what I'm doing with this channel, please support this video by liking it or leaving a comment. They're both really great for the algorithm. Also, subscribe to help me reach 100K subscribers. After working at Tesla for 6 years, I can only imagine how Elon would take advantage of people with this bill, especially since the guardrails have either left or been fired from Tesla. I'm just saying, if you're in a meeting with him and can only discuss the problem without providing an actionable solution that doesn't involve him changing his behavior, be prepared to leave the meeting without a job. In other words, you'll get fired if you can't fix his mess. Imagine what he would do if he could classify non-exempt workers as contractors. He's already done so much with worker protections in place. When I started at Tesla, I was a delivery experience coordinator. My role involved the physical execution of the vehicle delivery experience, vehicle staging, processing paperwork, collecting funds, and pretty much ensuring a positive customer experience. The delivery advisor's job was to make sure the car and the customer were ready for their scheduled delivery day appointment. Sales had product specialists and owner advisors. The product specialist was a lead generator and the owner advisor was the closer. Those 4 roles have been combined to become the Tesla advisor. And in many markets, they also have to sell solar energy. So that folds in another job, 5 jobs in one. On a positive, at least they don't have to see the solar through to installation. Let me not give Elon ideas. Passing this bill would redefine what constitutes an employee. It would create a climate where everyone would be an independent contractor or a temporary worker. You'd be in a state of chronic job insecurity, perpetually temporary. I could see Tesla changing all sales roles to independent contractors. I could see the same for its engineers, service advisors, the tactical response team techs, inside sales, solar installers, essentially everyone. I see this because working there, you know your job and what needs to be done. You have the freedom to achieve that job in any way that you can. Just use your discretion to exercise managerial skill, business acumen, or professional judgment. Get it done. It would be so stressful because you'd never feel safe enough to turn off. Think about it. Your boss could change the assignment at any time and you have to get it done on time. You're a contractor now, so you don't expect benefits. Tesla had excellent health care. When I was there, Tesla didn't contribute to 401ks. Employees have had that benefit now for a little more than 3 years. Contractors don't get that. They don't even get the free full self-driving software upgrade when they buy a Tesla. That's for employees too. Can you imagine what your job would do? What lengths they would go to take money out of your pocket so they could keep it? I suppose that's why the big beautiful bill added that work requirement to Medicaid. Would this sting so bad if we had single payer healthcare? Elon loves to fire people en masse, which is why I think Tesla often pays out severance. With this House resolution, you as a non-employee assume all the risks of entrepreneurship without the rewards. You're not an employee. You lose your legal guarantees on pay and benefits. On the bright side, the company is likely to see a rise in profits. Oh, and since you're contracted, no overtime pay. And that's not to be confused with overtime hours. This resolution would turn every state into a right to work state. But instead of you not being required to pay union dues, it'll be impossible to collectively bargain because you're not an employee. You'll be on your own. Is that boss harassing you? Making you work way too many hours? Gives you contradicting instructions and chastises you when your work is wrong? You'll have to suck it up. Suck it up or be gone. When work starts to pile up, you'll find that work will creep into different parts of your life. You'll check emails while you're in the bathroom. You'll write reports at the dining room table. If your work can't come home, neither will you. Once this bill allows the removal of your employee status, so does the predictability of your schedule. Frankly, your work will be judged by keystrokes if you're an office worker. It'll be determined by volume in other spaces. That's because your work is judged by where you fall on a leaderboard. You can't challenge a decision when you didn't have enough call volume or you didn't ring up enough customers. There's nothing they can do about it. It's above their heads. Sorry. This bill exposes you to the risks of being a business owner, but you don't get the profits. You don't get the autonomy. You definitely don't get the wealth building opportunities. You'll be responsible for your own expenses, insurance, and retirement. You will get the stress. I know this all sounds overwhelming. I mean, that's par for the course at this point. I definitely don't want to leave you feeling powerless. There are things that you can do starting right now that actually matter. I want you to start by getting this information into the conversation. Talk to your friends and family. Share articles, engage in discussions, and help people understand how this will impact them. It will affect people who don't have jobs too. Imagine calling customer support and trying to reach a person who is solely focused on handling their calls that day. There are ways to bypass surveys and avoid the trap of poor customer satisfaction scores. They transfer you to the next person, leaving you in a hell made of this awful music that's intermittently interrupted by an automated voice. I know you've heard this one before, but email your congressman. Before emailing them, visit opensecrets.org. Find their donors. If the donor is a business that serves the public, we have to overwhelm them with calls and emails. Please help me get this message out. We must ensure that companies understand they will lose more money if this passes than if it doesn't. How uncomfortable does everyone have to be before we all take action? I'm doing my part. I will email my representative, Maxwell Frost. Then I will email DreamWorks, SKG, and the New York Times. Even though my representative votes my preference, I am still taking these steps, and you should too. Show solidarity with your money. Don't just be apathetic when these companies pay politicians to do another bad thing. You have power. Purchase power. Look what happened to Target. Look what happened to Tesla. Those things happen because of people like us. This bill changes what it means to be an employee. This is an everyone problem. You don't have to go at it alone, but you need to figure something out if this becomes law. We could literally replace these conglomerates with small businesses. These billionaires are pushing their politicians to take your dollars. They are chasing the equivalent of pennies so that you can't have them. I've noticed videos on this topic are being suppressed, so watch this next. It's something that will impact all of us, and we need to be aware. I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, bye.